Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the 18th Sunday after Pentecost, and we're looking at the gospel lesson, and Jesus talks about how he is the cornerstone that is rejected, that he's the foundation of our life, and the chief cornerstone, the one that all of our life is based upon. And when that is pulled out, when that is not there, it just crumbles. And that in that through the cross and through the resurrection and through Christ in our lives, there is that's the cornerstone. That's what it's about. And then as we come together and we become the body of Christ, we get to share that. We get to be that for the world. So I was looking at different things that the item that I'm thinking about using for the children's sermon here, it can be many different items. It can be, I'm looking at an item that is key to something, whether it be, let's say you're making, I realize there are flourless cakes, but let's say you were making a cake that requires flour, and you don't have flour, that key ingredient for that recipe, it just can't be. You need that particular thing for that recipe. That's the cornerstone of that recipe. Or perhaps you're making chocolate chip cookies and you don't have chocolate chips. The cornerstone of that recipe is chocolate chips. Everything else coming together makes that, but you have those key ingredients. The item that I picked up from the Dollar Tree is checkers. You can play checkers, but without a board, you might be able to make the board out of something else, but without the board, it's really hard to play checkers. There's a key item in here. Or you could play checkers, and let's say you don't have the red pieces, and you just have the black pieces. It's hard to play without, because you're missing a primary piece of that game. And so that in this, that when Jesus talks about that he is the cornerstone, he is the cornerstone that's rejected, but in that cross and in the resurrection, God takes something that seems hopeless, and in that creates hope. We as Lutherans have the theology of the cross that Luther talks about, that in that it tells us that God has done something in that. This idea that God sits with us in the ashes, that there are that key element of Christ isn't always in just the glory, but that God walks with us in every step of the way, that cornerstone is a cornerstone for us in all aspects of life. So I'm looking, I'm getting off on here for probably a little too heady for the children, but primarily getting into this idea that cornerstone is essential for our faith. And so looking at items that are a key or primary my word is missing, but it's key to that focus, to that you need it to function. Perhaps where you buy something and it says batteries not included, and you know that the battery gives you power for that. It's an essential part, and that's Christ is the essential part of our faith. So thanks for stopping by. I hope some of this can be a springboard for your own thinking when it comes to your children's sermon, and I hope you have a fantastic week.